Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. I just want to let you know the Joe and Joe Weather Show is now in podcast form, and you can go ahead and listen to it on Spotify. And we will hopefully be getting it onto the Apple and Google platforms shortly. So make sure you check it out. You don't have to watch it on YouTube, but it's nice if you did. But in case you have other ways of looking at it, you're in your car, you're on a run or a long walk, you can just go ahead and check it out on Spotify. So this morning, as we take a look at what's happening on the satellite, once again for the third day in a row, the standout is the upper low that is just rotating around and around over New England. And we have varying conditions this morning. If you look closely, in parts of, for example, southern Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey into Maryland, starting the day with sunshine. Around the New York City, northern New Jersey area, and Long Island, we have clouds, and in coastal areas, specifically low clouds and even some patchy, dense fog. So it's another start here where weather conditions are going to be variable and all dependent on this stalled out upper low. It's basically a wash, rinse, repeat day from what we had yesterday. Meanwhile, seeing some thunderstorms blowing up overnight and this morning in parts of the northern plains, and also still getting some hefty rains in a little area here moving southward out of Tennessee and over into Alabama and Georgia. That's pretty much where the heavy weather is going to be concentrated today, from the northern plains southeastward through the Tennessee Valley and toward the Carolinas, where we're probably going to see some severe weather risks. And with respect to that, that's what the Storm Prediction Center is looking at here with regards to severe weather. We have a marginal risk touching most New Jersey, like basically touching Cape May and Delaware Bay, down into eastern North Carolina, and also a marginal risk from northern Alabama northwestward up into parts of southeastern Nebraska and southern Iowa. Again, that's pretty much on the periphery of that upper low. Is how the strongest thunderstorms and the severe weather is setting up for today. Looking ahead to tomorrow, this is for Thursday into Friday. Marginal risk for just about all of New England. We'll see if it winds up getting extended a little bit further south. I'm thinking there's a slight possibility that that's the case, but for now, it's going to be mainly confined to New England states for the most part. And then as we move on into day three, which is Friday into Saturday, no severe weather in the east. A little bit of severe weather going on in parts of the northwestern plains and into the northern Rockies. We're kind of in a place here where things are relatively quiet across the country. This is typical for late June, early July. We are, of course, going to see whether we wind up seeing our fair share of 90-degree days going forward, but no watches or warnings of consequence in the east. We have those flash flood watches up in parts of Illinois and eastern Missouri. You can see heat advisories are up for the southern plains and Texas. I don't know if that's exactly breaking news that it's hot in Texas and in the southern plains, and some dry spots out in the west. There's really no change in the logic of the forecast from yesterday or the day before. It's just a matter of waiting for this upper low to get out of the way. Just want to point out one of the big issues right now in many areas has been, believe it or not, the lack of rainfall. And I just want to put up what the Weather Service on their digital forecast showing for rainfall over the next 4 days. So this is into Saturday morning, mostly on the order of a couple of tenths to maybe a few spots getting up to about half an inch of rain. There's going to be variability here because we're dealing with pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And as always with those, you can be they can happen in one place or and not happen in another. In my instance, for example, there's been a boilerplate over me. We've had showers and storms all around me for the last couple of days, but in my zone where I live, they have been few and far between. So we're going to check out just exactly what to expect now as we move forward. Again, Pop-up showers and storms today from the upper low, which is going to finally move southeastward. So Thursday, I think, other than the fact that there's that risk for severe weather in New England, much of the area from southern New England to northeast Virginia should be okay with sunshine, and probably nothing worse than an isolated pop-up shower or storm. We'll cover for that possibility. A little bit of a better chance on Friday because we do have a weak backdoor front that's dropping southward, and that may trigger off a couple of pop-up storms. We'll go back to Saturday, which for the most part, with that frontal boundary sagging a little further south, should be an okay day. And it looks like it's going to hold on until later Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, seeing some showers and thunderstorms northeastern Pennsylvania on up into central New England that pop up. But that's about it. So the holiday weekend's looking pretty good. It's just going to be typical summer weather. Temperatures about where they're supposed to be for this time of year, mostly in the 80s. The more sun you get could take temperatures up to around 90 or so. A little bit cooler along the shore. One thing I just want to point out, by the way, if this occurs, just take a look at this low uh, from a shortwave trough that drops down into Florida Panhandle on Saturday. That's going to emerge off the Florida East Coast, and we're just going to watch to see whether this winds up becoming something in the form of a subtropical or tropical depression or tropical storm as we move into next week. It'll be kind of interesting if it did, if only it looks like an offshore system, but it would be the fifth named storm. And if it happens, if we get the fifth named storm before July 12th, that will set a record for the fastest route to five named storms. We'll see if that winds up playing out. So again, holiday weekend looking okay. We are going to have the Joe and Joe show tonight on YouTube at 7 o'clock, and of course, as I said, you have it in podcast form. You can listen to it on Spotify. I also have it put up on the weather app and on Facebook in case you're interested. So do check it out, and we'll see you later.